grab, pay, go. You got a firewood. These bags are awesome. The oak is in the trailer. Little shake, shake, shake room. Math is hard. Well, we have one row. We have one row here. Perfect. Give it a little bit more. I'm not a meat smoker. I just sell firewood. And welcome back, Firewood Addicts, to another episode of Travis Says Firewood. And today we're going to prepare 2 firewood orders. Alright, so I am, per the previous episode when I shared with you that I was trying to get rid of, and get cut all the cottonwood logs and to stack. And you see the cottonwood is all bucked up, cut up, stacked, ready to be processed. Again, that's not important as of right now. The fir, Douglas fir, is more important in my wood yards as of right now. And I did that because I need to get to this oak. So I have a customer who needs oak, I believe for smoking. And I let him know what I had. I let him know the moisture content. And he was no problem with that. I think he's going to probably re-soak these in water so they have more smoke for his meat. That's fine. That's beyond my expertise. I'm not a meat smoker. I just sell firewood. But I know that oak is at a premium. So again, this oak here all the way down to that end is oak that I bought. I bought oak logs from a tree surgeon in a few towns over because I knew that my oak smoker guy needed oak. Well, I got another ping for another customer wanting oak, and I think I have plenty for my oak guy, so why not just sell to him? So initially, he wanted one 6-foot truck bed, and I did an average amount of how much volume of firewood could sit in a 6-foot truck bed stacked up to the brim, and that more or less came out to 1/3 of a cord. Okay, 1/3 of a cord, and we can do dimension on it too. Now you could argue with me that, well, my truck is 6 foot long and I can't stack 1/3 of a cord in there. Fine, I'm not gonna argue. I was doing the average because I don't know what truck he has. I don't want to ask. I don't care. I just want to sell firewood and make sure that he gets a good value. I get paid. It's a win-win situation. So 1/6 of a cord, 1/3 of a cord, right? So I measure from this end here, and I get a little bit over 8 feet. It's 8 feet and 3 inches, okay? So keep that in mind. And I have one row, and these are roughly more or less at 16 inches because you know why? Because I cut them. I use my measuring stick and my own chainsaw, and I cut the logs to the size I want, which is more or less at 16 inches because I use a measuring stick. So they're not perfect, but hey, it is what it is. So let's go. So we know that it's 8 feet long. Okay, we know that it is 16 inches more or less in width, and we're gonna go how high we are, and we're gonna go roughly about 4 feet. Well, what do you know? Because we know that a cord of firewood is 4 by 4 by 8, and that's 3 rows of 16-inch cuts. 3 rows. Well, we have one row. We have one row here. One row of 8 foot long, 4 foot high, and 16-inch. One row. Therefore, that is 1/3 of a cord. One face cord, rock and roll. But so initially, the customer wanted this whole thing. 1/3 of a cord he wanted. But then he messaged me late last week saying, "Oh, sorry, Travis. Where at the beginning, I already have wood there. I just need a little bit. Let me go half of what I ordered here previously." So he wants half of this. What is half of 1/3 of a cord? That is 1/6. Do the math there. 1/6 of a cord. So we are going to measure 4 feet over. That's going to be more or less right here, 4 feet. And this section from here to here is what he's going to get. Okay? So let's do that. After we do that, Then we got one more firewood order to go, and you're gonna help me. Let's do it. All right, so rethinking this. Okay, if I measure over 4 feet to here, and I make a line, let's bring out our handy dandy construction crayon, right? But make a line here and here and here and here. Well, and I take this entire section, I'm afraid that wood on this side will slough over, and then I'm just confused. I don't want to give him too much. I don't want to give the customer too little. I want to give him what he ordered. Okay, maybe a little bit more. If anything, a little bit more. If anything, never less. If anything, a little bit more. Make sure that they are satisfied, right? I think that's a given on YouTube in terms of people who sell firewood. Yeah, let's do that. Give a little bit more. Okay, so I'm thinking doing half this way doesn't make sense. So what I'm thinking about is doing half the other direction. Okay, let's do my tape measure, lock it in place, measure down from the bottom, and go 2 feet this way. 2 feet this way. So does that make more sense? Would that be more helpful as I'm stacking this? So what I'm going to do is as I'm stacking, I want to pick the wood that does have the red marks. Okay? I'm okay with that. I think that's all going to work. That's going to keep track of all the red marks. So if I mark, I think this is going to work. I want to know your thoughts down in the comments, though. Is this too cumbersome? Too tedious? Is my math incorrect? Am I mathing wrong? You let me know. Because I want to know. I want to know and make sure that I'm not screwing over this customer, because I like my customers. For the most part, I like 99% of my customers. There's 1% of customers that I could do without. But I appease them because, hey, a sale is a sale. Am I wrong? Let me know. Anyway, 2 feet over. Okay, so you roughly see my 2 foot line over and over and over here. Okay, so that's pretty much half. This is the top half of the 1/6 of a cord. The very bottom, from 2 feet down, the first 2 feet is another 1/6. So the top half, whole means 1/3. Half of each, 1/6, and 1/6 equals 1/3 of a cord. Is that math right? Math is hard. I pre-processed the cottonwood because I want to bring in a trailer. Now, this is plenty of wood. Now, oak in itself, even dry, it's heavy. It's heavy. Now, I could use my lawn tractor trailer, and that holds a certain volume. I forget what it is. Hang on a second. Yeah, so you've seen my lawn tractor trailer before. That holds 17 cubic feet flush to the top. And that's not going to hold 1/6 of a cord. And I don't want to put wood in that trailer, bring it up to top of my driveway, put it on the ground or put it on pallets, and then make the trip again. So what I'm doing is I'm utilizing my parents' utility trailer as a large wheelbarrow. Simple as that. What we're going to do is we're going to toss the wood from the pile, stacked and measured. Because that's one more reason why I like stacking, is you can measure. Even though I don't really sell cords, if you need to, you can measure. You can measure. It's not that hard. If you're confused about math and cords, I will drop a link to a website that I use, and I believe it's pretty accurate. You can use a calculator too, but make sure that in firewood and math is not our strong suit. There's a link that will help you. Okay, but this worked out pretty great in terms of like the 8 feet long and 3 inches. I'm okay with that. More or less 4 feet high, and you know it's going to stay 16. So without further ado, let's load. Alright, so there it is. The wood, the oak, is in the trailer. So that's more or less 2 rows. I could have also measured a portion of the trailer and marked off where the stack. That could I done too. Maybe I done both. Maybe measured and designated here as well as here how much volume of wood to stack. But I'm okay with doing it once and then putting in here, and we're done. There's only a few crayon marks on the ends from this piece here. I don't think that's gonna impact the meat smoking process or like poison the meat or whatever. I'm not concerned. If anything, they can just take a wipe and like rub it off. It's not a big deal. Anyway, so this is in the trailer, ready to go. We're gonna bring it up to the top of the driveway, take a picture for the customer, and that's a wrap for this one. He will come by and pick it up at his leisure, and he knows to drop the wood in the cash box. This load here is $165. Now, you may sell oak differently, maybe cheaper, maybe more expensive. Here, oak goes for premium because it's very rare. So that's what I'm charging. If you want to let me know down in the comments, will you charge for a similar amount of oak? Sure, I want to know. But this is what I'm selling here today. So let's go drop it off at the top of my driveway, and then let's go on to firewood order number 2. All right, so I have pulled the trailer in to my neighbor's yard next to my property. You see the firewood stand there, and then you see my little bin of the free bark right there. So all the customer has to do is pull into my driveway right here, maybe back in, and then he has full access to the load of oak. So the trailer's not in my driveway, not in my way. No one's going to use this part of the lawn anytime soon. That he's coming here between 10 and noon on Friday. So it should be fine. I will probably cover this load with like a tarp so it's not obvious. And then the trailer is parked the tongue this way, so less apt to someone pulling in and stealing it. I'll probably put a lock on the tongue to make sure that it's secure enough because I don't want it stolen. But I think this is going to be perfect to have them go from my trailer to his truck. Easy peasy, rock and roll. We're making money. So let's go. We'll move on to the firewood prep sale number 2. Now, at the firewood stand, people can come at any time without having to text me or make sure that I'm there or whatever. Come to the firewood stand, grab their wood, pay, and go. But I tell people who are good customers, if you want to, send me a ping. Here's my card, text me. Say, hey Travis, I want X amount of bundles or kindling a rack. Is it available? And usually I will have the time. I will prepare their order for them, put it in the lawn tractor trailer or a wheelbarrow, and say this is yours. And I'll usually tarp it and say this is yours. And usually people will not touch it. Okay, it's not required, but I would hate for people to come to the firewood stand and have what they want to purchase not available. I don't want that to happen. I'd rather have them take the second and the forethought to message me ahead of time. Then I make a note and prepare their order, and then and so they are guaranteed that they will get that order appropriately on time. This is my 2 cents. And not everyone does it that way. This is what I've evolved my process into doing that. Anyway, this customer has bought from me before, and they get some hardwood from me. Now I don't really advertise my hardwood, but I do have hardwood here outside of the oak that I just processed or I just loaded. And they say, hi, yeah, we bought a few bundles from you last month. I think early June. I tracked it on my tracker. We were hoping for 4 bundles of hardwood and 2 bundles of softwood. So what I'm gonna and then I clarified to them: do they want pure maple? Do they want pure fruitwood? Or they want a mix? And they said just a mix of hardwood. So that's what they're gonna get. So in this wheelbarrow is a mix of fruitwood, which is a combination of plum, cherry, and apple. I can't pinpoint which is which. I'm not that good at species. Is what it is. But I do know the maple by the color here and the bark. So I do know that. So in here is a wheelbarrow of mixed hardwood. It's kind of buried in the back there, which is unfortunate, but I didn't want to. Yes, I stacked unseasoned firewood in front of seasoned firewood, so I don't have to go around. Anyway, so what we're going to do is we're going to make the 4 bundles of hardwood now. Well, I'm not going to make a bundle. I'm going to give them, what I gave them last time, a bag. So I got these from Northern Woodsman, premium firewood. These bags are awesome. These are slick. They're gorgeous. You've seen this on my channel before. I'll link in the description. I think from my understanding, they're not too expensive from the other bags that I bought from Northern Woodsman, but I think they're slick. So we're gonna fill these with a mix of hardwood here. So this is my sled jig for my 1 cubic foot bags. The issue is these bags are 0.75. They're not a full cubic foot. So what happens is my sled doesn't really fit in there. Okay, so I was using this for a while and then taking it out and then putting a few more in. Frustrating. So what I did was I cut a bucket. I did not film this. I did an episode on it. I cut a bucket, and I'm using this now as my jig. So here's the math on this, and if you want to correct me, if you feel the need to, you can, but for my research, to fill a 0.75 bag, it's going to be 5.61 gallons. So this is the 5-gallon bucket, more or less, and squared. Hello. So to make it a full 0.75 cubic foot bag full, we're going to add 1 or 2 pieces to it. So what I did is I cut the very bottom of the 5-gallon bucket. Now, for my research, and again, you can correct me or have an opinion on this, that's fine. I chose the rectangle square bucket versus the round bucket, mostly because I like using the round buckets for other things, and I had a few of these rectangle ones. But from my understanding, these fit firewood better than the round ones. Now, granted, the Wolfridge bagger jig is round. I think it's round, but it's actually not perfectly round if you have one or look at it in person or look closely on a channel that has that bagger. It's actually like 1 inch to 3/4 inch flat pieces, and then they turned it flat piece, turned it flat piece. So it's not it's not a perfectly round sphere. It's actually oblonged to be round. It's not perfect, and that works in terms of firewood to make sure that it can fit. So this thing is better than a round 5-gallon bucket, and I think that this would work. This would definitely work good for a 0.75. I still don't think that it would work fully for a full cubic foot. So I slide this on here. Get it down. That looks pretty good. Now I use this for the hardwood as well as my kindling, because my kindling bags, both the red and the purple, that I sell my premium kindling as well as my kindling chunks, those are also 0.75 bags, so I use that as well. So we're going to fill this up. Now some of these pieces aren't exactly 16 inches long. That just goes with getting tree service wood. Now I got the fruit wood from a neighbor up the road. I think you remember that story. I think that was a few, like the fall last or so. I didn't quite sell. I didn't burn this myself because fruit wood I know is at a premium. So I didn't burn it myself. I saved it to be sold, and that right now is paying off. All right, so that is that, and we're gonna lift off the bucket, leaving the firewood. Perfect. And then we're going to add, let's add 1 medium-sized piece, and we're going to call that a full bag, a full 0.75 bag of hardwood. Now, because hardwood, again, in my area, comes at a premium, very rare, especially fruit wood. This, again, if you don't recall from my previous episode, this right here is hardwood, is $10 a bag. Making that money. Get this wheelbarrow to put the wood in. I just walked by that stack of cottonwood. Woohoo! It smells. So we got 1, and we got 3 more to go. I think this is a pretty good process myself using this type of bucket. Now, as you can see, there's green on here. When I cut this with a skill saw, it left like some burrs, the barbs on the edge, and I could have used a file or a knife to make it nice. Well, you don't want those caught on these mesh bags, so I quickly just used some duct tape. Yes, I had some green, neon green duct tape for another project. My son picked it out, so don't judge me. But yes, I used green duct tape for the edges. You can use any type of duct tape, maybe the high quality masking tape, but nonetheless, something to hide the edges from getting caught on the mesh bag, because they get caught and it gets torn and then you can't use it again, and is what it is. So it's on here, and I think this is not too bad. I'm still trying to figure out how to make my own bagger myself without having to break the bank, without having to make it too time consuming. I'm not anti buying the Wolf Ridge bagger. I had one in my wood yard before. I loved it. It was great. It's just, especially now with not having a job, this is not in the cards right now. I think it would still make it efficient with making bags. But for now, I think using a jig like this, it works. It works. And granted, with that bagger, I would probably get the 1 cubic foot bucket, and then my other stuff that I don't make very often, like this one here, I would just do by hand again. It's fine. It is what it is. So that's full. Use the handle, take it out, a little shake, shake, shake-a-roo, and there we have a bag. Add 1 more piece. Bark. I think this is apple. I think the apple has that really like papery bark. I don't know. All right, so that's that one. Bag number 2. 2 more to go. Add 1 more, and that is number 4 bags of hardwood. So right now in the wheelbarrow we have $40 worth of firewood. Okay, you can charge whatever you want, and you'll find people who will buy it because you're gonna be selling quality, right? Dig it. So I just can't get over, these bags are beautiful. I'm talking with Northern Woodsman. I think I want these bags to come in 1 cubic foot too. I think they're worth the price point. But again, I'll leave a link down below. No pressure to buy them. I just think that they're beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful bags. Beautiful. They're awesome bags. Anyway, so the order was 4 bundles, bags of hardwood, and then 2 bundles of softwood. Let's make those next. All right, we are next door to where I was just at, and we are next to the most driest softwood that I have in the wood yard. And so, sadly, I only have 1 species available, Douglas fir. And that's fine. Douglas fir is great firewood. Especially, it's the best softwood we have in the PNW, bar none, right? It's just, I only have one species available that's dry in the wood yard. I don't have much of else. The cottonwood, obviously, that ain't dry. So, but as you see, as I'm making my bundles here, every single piece is going in the bundle. You know what? Actually, no, I take that back. Not every piece. I'll make some cedar. So this is cedar that I cut recently from that those long like slab-like things, and it dries pretty fast because it's been out in the weather for a while, and so just for filler. And then I'll tell the customer, hey, there's already cedar kindling in your bundles. Use that to start your fire. It's a win-win. Win-win. It's filler. I do use cottonwood for my filler as well, for my bundles and bags. Again, it's not the whole thing that is all one species. I just like to sprinkle in different species, so I'm not taking from one stack of the same species. I hope that that makes sense. So I'm only going to be making 2 bundles, and then I'll be stationing it at the top of my driveway, and the order is done. I mean, how simple is that? How easy is that to do? Just the 4 bags, the 2 bundles. It's a no-brainer, folks. No-brainer. I'm in. I'm in. I definitely like doing firewood bundles. I often wonder about the ROI, but at least I'm outside. I'm active. I'm doing something. I could mow my lawn right now. My lawn is a jungle right now, but I don't want to. I want to make some money by selling firewood. And you're along the ride with me. I hope that you're still watching at this point. But yeah. So this stuff is the driest that I have of Douglas fir and softwood. And these bundles, because there's no bags, these bundles go for $5 a pop. Hang on one second, I'll use some cedar. The bags sell for $6 for softwood because the bags cost money. Now I may charge more soon due to gas prices, gas prices and inflation, all that jazz. Even though it's a side hustle, but I don't know yet. I don't know yet. We'll see how this goes. But this order is almost done. I think this jig, it still works out pretty good. I still, with the hand wrap like this, it's not too time consuming. It's not like I'm making commercial. This is just a side hustle. I make them as I go. Yes, I do have a few firewood bundles currently at the firewood stand, but I don't want to deplete that. I want, this is an order, and they're getting an order that's made to order. I hope that makes sense. So let's bring this up to the top driveway. All right, so that is the order. We got the oak, 1/6 of a cord of oak. Then we got the 4 bags of hardwood, 2 bags of softwood in bundles. This is over $200 almost sold, and it will be all prepared for the customer to come at their leisure when they want to tomorrow. Come grab their wood, load it in their vehicle, pay the firewood stand, which is over yonder. Easy peasy. Grab, pay, go. You got a firewood, rock and roll. And this is $200, and this is not even a cord. This is not even a cord of wood. Yet I'm making almost a cord worth of money. Okay, that's how you do it. Find your niche market. Do not rip people off, but find your niche market and sell that firewood. Make that money. That's how we do it, folks. That is how we do it. Anyway, that's for this episode. Thank you for tuning in. I appreciate it. And remember, life is too short to be a prick, to be kind to another. Rock and roll. Stay hip. Keep cutting. Cheers. Is this turn you 1/3, 1/3? All right, so we are prepared to make our next order of firewood. You can't see me yet. Okay, so there we are. That could be too far away.